I want to talk to you about, the first step in learning to master your life. And this is something that I talk about with a lot of clients. And the first step to mastering your life is basically learning to like your words. Okay, we talked about words. I did this a little bit earlier, and I'm just going to touch on it again now. We are constantly speaking. We are speaking and we are thinking all the time. And to do this takes words. And our words are our biggest obstacle. Okay, because we say words that disempower us. We say words that don't make us feel good. We say words that take away our energy, that make us feel tired, right? So words are a big problem. So instead of using, and I'll give you some examples, and like I said, I just did a live on this the other day, but I'm just going to give you some examples. So a lot of us, I'm afraid to do that. I'm afraid to move into this. I'm afraid that I'm scared of this. So instead of using the word afraid, because afraid has an effect on our biology, okay? Afraid has an effect on our body. Remember, you have a computer working in there, right? This biological computer that we have that's working in there, that's connected to energy, that's connected to everything. And the word afraid is a word that will disempower you. It'll take away your energy. So what you want is a word like, how about, I'm a little uncomfortable with that. So uncomfortable doesn't have that same effect as afraid does. Another word that people say a lot is I hate. I hate this and I hate that, and I hate eggs and I hate this and I hate that person and I hate that situation and I hate what's going on in the news right now. So we use the word hate a lot. And that word also has problems with it. So that word hurts us in a big way. So what about if we use the word I prefer? Right? I prefer this instead of that. Right? A preference isn't going to have that much of an effect on you. All right? Then we string these words together and we make things like metaphors. Like the weight of the world on my shoulders. We'll say stuff like that. We'll say things that take away our power. And what we say actually does happen. So you want to make sure that you're using words that are empowering you. So I'm gonna give you some examples. Instead of I'm confused, how about curious? Okay, I'm curious. I posted one the other day. Instead of I'm overwhelmed, I work on a lot of projects. So instead of saying I'm overwhelmed, how about you say I am in demand? Or I have lots of opportunities, right? It's changing the word changes the vibration and the energy around you, okay? Failure. I've always said there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. But if you're going to use the word failure, how about you say I'm learning, right? How about I am getting educated? Something a little bit different. Good morning, Sam and Mindy. Something a little bit different than failure. Failure also it drags you down. That is not a good feeling that comes with that word. Okay? Impatient. You could use anticipating, right? Rejected. How about I'm just misunderstood? I was just misunderstood. There's different ways of saying things. Stupid. I prefer that people do not use the word stupid. That is not a nice word. But you could say they're discovering. They're learning. Okay? The word terrible. The word terrible is also not a good word. I feel terrible. I'm just feeling different today. Or that's just different than what I'm used to. Or that's surprising. Or that's interesting. Like different words rather than words that take away our power. So you might want to pay attention. So that's step number 1, is paying attention to your words. What words are you describing that are saying things about yourself? But not only about yourself, what words are you using with other people when you talk to them? When you are when you're struggling with a situation with them, when you're challenged with something with them, what words are you using to talk to them about it? Okay? So are you disempowering them with what you're saying? Or are you empowering them? Right? So you want to make sure that you're using the right words. Okay? So not just with yourself, but with others. With metaphors, when you're angry with someone, when you're angry with someone, though, what are you saying to them? Are you ripping away their power? You know, there's ways of getting that same point across where you can just empower someone instead. Okay? So you want to do that. Good morning, Andrea. So, words are our first thing that I want you to pay attention to. A lot of times I hear, I'm out of control. I'm out of control. Oh my God, I feel like I'm losing control in my life. I'm out of control. You're not, you're never out of control. And I will tell you why. We are constantly making choices and decisions. Okay? To say that you're out of control is a decision and it's a choice. You could choose to live your life on a runaway train, right? Where you're just kind of along for the ride, not actually doing or making any choices, which is still a choice. To be on that runaway train is still a choice, right? So you can be on that runaway train, or you can choose to step off the train and take some control of your life, all right? But either way, you are in control because you've made the decision to do this or to do that. You've made that choice, okay? Choices and decisions, we're making them in every moment. You know, when people say, I can't get the law of attraction working for me, or I can't get the things going the way that I want them to go, then pay attention to your words. Pay attention to the choices that you're making. If a situation is not the way that you want it to be, then you need to change the choices that you're making. You need to change the decisions that you've made. Maybe that choice was okay a while ago, but it's not okay now anymore. You need to change that choice. These things, these words, choices, these things will make immediate changes in your life. You know, people want instant gratification. They want it now. Well, if you want it now, then change your words. Change your choices and your decisions. And you will notice that things will begin to change for you. Okay? And you might need to change them a few times because you're going to have to do a little bit of like tweaking along the way. Right? So, choices. People choose to stay in depression. People choose it. You know, I'm depressed, and they'll walk around telling people how they are depressed. Then change your situation. Get the help that you want. You know, I'm on here screaming about that all the time, how I help people with this, right? So, change your choice. If you've gone through trauma and it's affecting you, then make a choice to take control of the situation and do what you need to do. Right? If you're suffering and struggling with panic attacks, I just sent out an ebook. Go on my website, get a free ebook on the panic attacks. There are choices that you can make to get help. Or you can choose to define yourself by the words that you're going to use to define yourself. So the question is, how do you want to define yourself? How do you want people to see you? Okay? How do you want to feel? Which then leads me to the next one, which is your emotions. I'd like you to think about your emotions like a GPS, okay? If your emotion feels bad, that is your body, your energy, everything about you saying, make a change. It's your take action feeling. Instead of falling into that negativity, then take action. Change it. If it doesn't feel good, change it. But for some reason, in humanity, I'm not even going to say this culture because it's more than just a cultural thing. In humanity, we seem to want to feel bad. And I don't know why that is when we can feel good. I mean, a perfect example is there's 750,000 words approximately in the English language. I mean, 3,000 of those words talk about your emotions. And 2,000 of the 3,000 are about negative emotions. So only 1,000 words talk about positive emotions. How is that okay? Right? And then change your words. Like if you say, I want to be successful. Well, we use the word success and powerful and abundant We use these words a lot in our language. Like I see it all over the internet all the time. Okay? So we use these words a lot in our language. But if that's a problem, like, how should I put this? If it's not working for you, change the word. Meaning, successful, powerful, abundant. We use these words so much that they actually have no more meaning anymore. They mean nothing. Okay? Because you didn't change any choices to go with it, so it hasn't changed anything for you. How about we change up the words? Okay, so instead of saying successful, how about you say, I am triumphant? I know it's a different word, right? I am triumphant. I am victorious, right? I am victorious. I am the hero. Instead of powerful, I am dynamic. I am brilliant, right? Different words have different feelings. How do we easily find these words? Hey, we've got Google. Go and synonym them, right? Go and find the synonyms for the word successful. Change your words. Find synonyms for the words abundant, opulent, luxurious. There's so many other words that we could be using that will up your game, okay? So think of different words that you could use that make you feel good, okay? That make you feel good. I think I actually just gave my list to somebody. Oh, here we go. So successful, here we go. Here's some words for successful. Prosperous. How was the last time you called yourself prosperous? Right? I want to be successful. I am prosperous. Right? I am prosperous. I'm accomplished. Right? I am accomplished. I am triumphant. I am savvy. All right? There are lots of great words that you could be using, but we stick to these same 2,000 to 10,000 words in a vocabulary, and if those words are not working for you, I'm telling you, you have access to 750,000 words. That's just in English. Okay? This same rule applies no matter what language you speak in. The number of words in your language might be different, but there are options, and I can guarantee you're not using your whole language. Okay? Abundant. How about affluent? I am bountiful. I have a myriad of options, right? I am plentiful. Money comes to me from a plethora of avenues. The minute you start using new words, they up your game, because if you keep saying abundant and it's not working for you, then you need to change the word. You need to use words that make you feel good. The other day, I was laying in bed before I woke up in the morning, and my eyes were closed. And I like to tell myself really positive things when I wake up in the morning, because that is the time when we usually say a lot of crap to ourselves, okay? So I consciously make sure that I am saying a lot of very positive things to myself. So I was laying there, I hadn't opened my eyes yet, and I started using the word triumphant. I am triumphant in what I do. I bring bounties of opportunities into my life. Behind my eyes, my eyes are still closed. All of a sudden, everything went really, really bright. Like it was this blinding brightness of light. And I know I hadn't opened my eyes yet, right? So just by changing words and allowing myself to feel those words, I ignited a light inside me. Right? So I'm no different than you. The only difference between me and anyone else who's struggling and challenged with things is that they have chosen to stay that way. It's a choice. I don't care what your situation is. The only time you don't have a choice is if you are locked up somewhere or if you are a child. Because children don't have a lot of choices, unfortunately. Their choices are limited in this world until they can stand on their own. But after that, as an adult, you have choices and decisions. And if your life is not the way that you want it to be, if you have been traumatized, if you are challenged with things, you are making a choice to live in the past or to make the choices that you need to make to come into this present moment and change the rest of your life. If you don't do this, it is a decision that you made, And you cannot blame anyone for it. Because no one person has the control of another person. Unless I said you've been kidnapped and you're locked in a basement somewhere. You have full control of yourself at all times. Anything that you don't do to change your life is a choice. Okay? And you're probably doing it out of a false fear. Our mind protects us. Okay? It is programmed to protect us. So the minute we put something up in front of us that is different than what we normally do, and we're a little bit nervous about it, or we've had previous experience about something, it will create this false fear. How many times have you done something that you're afraid to do, and the minute you start doing it, you're like, that wasn't so bad, right? I did that. Imagine that all the time. Every time you feel this false fear, this fake wall that goes up, walk through it, because you can. Walk around it. Punch a hole in it. You can get through it, because the minute you start taking steps towards what you want, then you are going to succeed. Be triumphant. Be victorious. Be your own hero. You can do it. Okay? Because I did it, and I am no different from you. We were cut from the same cloth. Okay? I don't have any superpowers that you don't have. Okay? The difference is I made choices to find my superpower. I got the help that I needed because I knew that I didn't have the tools to do it myself. Okay? So I did it. So you can do it too. Right? I am no different than you. No one is. It's based on our choices and our decisions. We all have access to the same stuff. Okay? The other thing is, a lot of times we don't do things because it's going to be difficult at the beginning. So I'm going to use an example of weightlifting. Okay? So if you're, okay, especially with resolutions, we're near the beginning of the year right now, and we have all these resolutions, and one of them might be to start working out, and you might be having some aches and pains right now while you're doing that, okay, and that might stop you from doing it. It might hold you back from going further. So I'm going to use that as an example. Think about short-term pain for long-term gain, okay? So sometimes when we make a decision, in the short term, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable because you're changing some things around. Your body may need to adapt. You might need to change some of the stuff around you, right? But in the long term, you are going to gain. So by working out, you're going to feel good in the end, but it's going to hurt at the beginning, okay? We all know that. So compare that to every situation. Am I going to have some short-term discomfort in this, but in the end, I'm going to kick this thing's butt because I'm going to have some long-term gain? Okay? So think of it that way. It's like when people want to quit smoking, or they want to quit drinking, or they want to quit some other bad habit that they have. Okay? We're going to talk about that in some other broadcasts. But right now, I want you to understand that, yes, to make those things, to make those changes, you need to think of some short-term discomfort, maybe. Okay, that will come with that. But in the long term, you are going to succeed. Okay, you are going to be victorious. All right, you are going to make that grand slam. All right, you're going to be able to do that. Why? Because you're savvy, right? Because you're a hero. Okay, you are a hero with superpowers. You can do this. Okay? Don't anyone ever let anyone tell you that you can't do something that you want to do that feels right for you. You can do anything. There are many ways to do the same thing. Right? Many ways to do the same thing. If this way doesn't work, then you try this way. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that there's some feedback. What did you learn from that? Right? It didn't work. So what did you learn? Great. Pick up what you learned, move it into your next choice. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. If I gave up on myself, I wouldn't be here. Okay? Don't give up on yourself, ever. All right? And when you feel like you can't go on, that's when you get up and you say, yes, I can, I got this. Right? Yes, I can, I got this. Okay, I got this. Life is only as complicated as we make it. It's a choice. We can say that life is complicated. That's a choice. Or we can say, I got this. I got this. Okay, and learn from our mistakes. We all make them. How else will we learn? Right? We learn from our mistakes and we make better choices. We make better decisions. We use better words. We pay attention to our emotions, right? When you can do all of that, you're already making instantaneous changes in your life. So you want that instant gratification, just like that, then those are the things that you're going to start to do. Pay attention to your words. Pay attention to the way that you feel. Pay attention to what you're thinking. If I hired you right now, if I owned a factory and I hired you right now to take care of my factory because it's in chaos and I don't know what's going on with it, if I hired you to be my manager, the very first thing you would do is observe what's going on, right? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to observe what's going on and I want you to learn from it. Okay? And when you use words like I just did, the factory, right? I use lots of words to describe things, to make things relatable for people. I liken one thing to another thing, to make things relatable to people. When I do this, it has to be an empowering metaphor. It has to be an empowering likening, right? It needs to be empowering. So think about what you say to yourself and what are you saying to your children? What are you saying to your employees? What are you saying to your spouse? When things become challenging, what kind of words and metaphors and things are you saying to them? Are you empowering them? Or are you ripping their power away from them? What are you doing? Right? So pay attention to that as well. So it's also not making an impact in your own life, but also making an impact in other people's lives. Okay? I don't let my clients bash themselves. My clients come in with a lot of self-sabotage. I cut that out like immediately. Always giving them a different way to look at it. Why? Because I'm not going to condone or take part in their self-sabotage. As a coach, I am their friend. As a coach, I am here to help people. I am not here to help you pick up the bat and beat the shit out of yourself. I'm not going to do that. Okay? So, if you want to be empowered, if you don't have all the right tools, if you want to start this year in 2020 and start doing some great things and stop paying attention to the crappy stuff that's happening in the news and becoming part of this world's hate fest, then it's time to do something different. And if you don't have the tools, that's okay. I'm here. People like me are here. I'm happy to see you, and change your life. Make that decision. Make that decision to change your life. All right? So hopefully, see, my podcast didn't work today. I just keep on going. I got this, right? I was looking so forward to doing this, and it's not starting. So I'll contact them. But what? I got this. All right? So I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Bye.